Hello, everyone in the Creating with Your Spiritual Universe family. Welcome, and doing another live video, just sharing with you guys a few things. And today, what I want to talk about, I want to talk about spiritual awakening and what you do when that happens. And then you say, well, what are you talking about, spiritual awakening? I've been awake. Not talking about anybody's idea of what that is at all. Just giving you my experience along those lines. What do I mean by a spiritual awakening? You wake up one day, or you come to the realization one day that you're here for more than just going to school, going to work, the mundane, blah, 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 9 to 5, get a paycheck, pay the bills, have kids, get old, retire, and die. That's simple. When you realize that you're here for more than that, you're here for more than just worshiping something or someone somewhere in a ritualistic fashion, okay? Giving your power away to something else or some other thing or whatever you want to call it. God, religion, whatever. When you wake up to that and realize, wait a minute, I've been doing this for X amount of years, going to work, paying my taxes, doing all this, and I ain't happy at all. There's got to be more to life than this. When you ask that question, you've just triggered the switch to awaken. Because all you need to do when you are at that point in your life where you ask that question, just sit and wait. Because that's when all the other aspects of who you are, I just put out that post about, we are more than what we know, and they fear the day, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't really remember it fully, they fear the day you come to that realization. When you come to that realization, or the question, not even the realization, but the question, it's got to be more to this than what's been let on. Because I'm doing all the things that they all say you should do, and I say they because they is everything. They is your family, your schools, your pastor, your teacher, your preacher, your friends, your family, the people at work, the TV, the news, you name it, the politician, everybody, all the things they say, and you've done it all, and your life is just, there's something not here, there's something not going, there's something missing that is not quite, or something that is not quite adding up. I don't know what it is. But I'm dissatisfied with it. Let's just put it this way. I don't know what's going on with my life. I'm just doing the little monologue here that goes on in most of our heads when we get to that point, going on in my head. Then your spirit, the thing that you have completely ignored all of your life, because you've been giving that attention to some other spirit outside of you, it can go to work. And it's always talking to you, because that's the you that was here before you came here, the you that's in you now, and the you that's going to be here afterwards. That's the you who's been doing stuff for you. When you get down on your knees and you pray, when you wish for something to happen, you have a desire and it comes. It's not coming from anywhere else but an aspect of you. That you. The God within you, the one you see when you look in that mirror every day, that you starts to do things to bring your awareness into balance with what's real and away from the false nature of this reality. That's what I mean by waking up. And you won't need the coffee for this. You can still drink the coffee in the morning and all that good stuff. But that's not the kind of awakening I'm talking about. This is the kind of awakening. And some of you might say, well, I don't know about any of all that. That's all that, juju stuff. To you, I say, hey, you have every right to that opinion and that way of feeling. And if you're listening to this, fine. Have a giggle on me. I can handle it. It's okay. This message is for maybe you haven't reached that point yet. Or maybe you have and you decide it's not for you. Whatever it is, it's okay. I'm talking to those who are at that point and who are looking to become the masters of their domain and who are ready to become who they planned to be before they came here, and to remember the plan that they made for themselves before they came here. And then after they came here, all kinds of programs, all kinds of belief systems were loaded up in their subconscious, and they don't know their heads from a hole in the ground, giving their powers away to all kinds of things. Things coming to them creating it and thinking it's something else that's giving it to them and creating it. And that something else is just using their power for its own benefit. So it's time for you to take that power and start using it for your benefit and the benefit of other human beings on the planet. Okay? So that's the waking up I'm talking about. So because I work with people and in all kinds of fashion counseling, and I will I see this question, or like with me, sometimes people are waking up, they're coming to this realization that I just described, but they don't know that that's what is happening. It took, when I went through this back in 2012, it didn't take to 2014 for me to realize what the hell happened. I did not know I was going through this until about 2014. Then it was brought to my realization, this is what's going on. And then that's when I started saying, oh, that's what's going on. Oh, that's why they gear you to doing this. Oh, that's why they want you to believe in this kind of system. Oh, that's why they want you to get in gear and do these things, and then you find out that you're not really happy because they are training you into the system, and you're not happy, but you look around and everybody else is doing it, so it must be the right thing to do, right? And nobody knows how many people are thinking this one thing while we're all doing the things that are making us unhappy. Nobody knows that number, but I'm sure it's pretty large because I talk to people now. I will talk to people and I get some of the same messages. And when you hit on that point, or when I hit on that point, conversations that they're not going to hear anywhere else, they're intrigued, they're interested, because it ain't the same old conversation that they've been having with everybody. Same conversation, different person. All of a sudden they get a conversation that's different. And they're wondering, and then you talk to them, and I've come to that realization, but I can't talk to my family about it, can't talk to anybody about it, because they'll just think I'm crazy. I have dreams about things and events. I feel differently now than I did years ago. I've never felt this way before. I am seeing things very differently. All things these not new things, not new events, not new situations in my life, but now I'm seeing those situations that I looked at for many, 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 many years. They haven't changed. But what's changed is I am now able to see way more than I was able to see before. And I don't really know why. These are kind of things people say. I will hear people say. And so when I hear things like that, I think, awaken. I listen more. I don't jump to conclusions. But when someone says they're seeing things differently than they ever have before, that is the telltale sign right there. So when speaking to people in this situation, I will have a conversation. I will do more listening than talking. I will do more listening than talking. Because at that point, this person's bottling that up. And for the first time, they get to talk about it. I talk about it all the time. I don't have anything bottled up when it comes to my spiritual awakening and all the different aspects, knowing that I'm not just the flesh and the blood, but spirit and different aspects of self existing in different and many realities. That's the other thing you realize too when you wake up. This is not the only reality you exist in. And what you thought was something attributed to some superior being of some kind is actually what you are, a multidimensional being, omnipotent. Yes. If you're not that far in believing that, that's okay. Just take what serves you and leave what doesn't. And existing in more than one reality at the same time. That's why I said you're more than you know. You're not just flesh and blood sitting here to do the stuff that you've been programmed to do and then you die. Because you don't die anyway. You died to come here. I tell people, I died to come here. And when I leave here, I wake up. Hey, people, you're back again. How's it going, brother? Just having a little talk here again. Yeah. And then when I leave here, I will wake up. Okay. And so when you start realizing that, the first thing people are like, oh man, what should I do? And it's not complicated. The first thing I say to people is, I said, what kind of diet do you eat? What kind of foods do you eat? And then, depending on what they say, I'll tailor suggestions according to that. But for me, I said the first thing you should do is start taking care of the physical body. Start taking care of your physical body. If it's something you haven't done before, don't just all of a sudden turn 360. That means you're doing the same thing, right? 180, and then shock yourself and all that. No, do it gradually. The first thing I say is, all is good. I say, yeah, I'm having a powwow. First thing I say is, start doing some things to help your body. Start eating some foods to help your body. Nothing radical. Okay? Start the changes, start taking herbs. I recommend a couple of herbs to start with because they're fantastic, first of all. And number two, they will help you. It will help you to adapt your body and help to prepare your body. And take them with purpose. When you take those herbs, you take them with purpose. You don't take them mechanically like you're just consuming food. Think about their consumption, give thanks, and then consume them. And they will behave and act differently. Because anybody that knows me knows that I believe this, I know consciousness is in everything. And these plants have been with us forever. Before we came here, they've been here. They know the body. And I'm going to recommend 2 or maybe 3. Let's go with 2. And if I feel like it, or if I'm guided to 3, right? I'm going to start with 1, holy basil or tulsi. Why that? Easy to get. Easy to get. If you have a place to sell herbs, it'll be there. Now you can get holy basil or tulsi at the regular supermarket. And it's an adaptogen. It does so much for you. What's an adaptogen? Whatever an adaptogen is an herb that whatever it is that you need, it'll give you. Let's use one example of, and this is, holy basil does do this, by the way. You feel really, really tired. You take the holy basil, it'll give you a bit of energy. It's not, okay, if you're drinking Monsters and all that, don't expect the same thing, okay? That stuff's off the charts and does all kinds of stuff. I'm talking about what nature naturally does. And you could take, you take that adaptogen, it'll give you a little bit of energy. And it'll also do a whole lot of other things. It'll start purifying your body. It'll start energy. It works not only physically, but energetically. To start in tuning you and in training you to your spirit. Connecting you to what is real. Okay? And these are things that are very, very subtle. It's done on a very, very subtle level. You're not going to be feeling all this stuff, but this is a good herb. Something you take it regular basis, and even if you're empathic or really sensitive, and you stop taking it for a while, all of a sudden you'll notice a slight difference in your being. You'll go, oh, I wonder what that is. And then kind of you ran out of it, and you forgot to pick it up, and you haven't taken it for a week. It's healthy. It has so many great physical qualities to help with your health, and then also dips into the spiritual side of who you are too. Okay, so that's one thing, and it's not expensive, and you don't have to have like, you know, I'm radical. I got a apothecary. I got like 35, 40 herbs there. I take all of them for different reasons and stuff like that. I mean, you know. And I find myself taking 1 or 2 or 3 on a regular basis, then suddenly that stops and I'm taking another 2 or 3. I just go just based on what I feel I need at the time. Nothing, you know. And then a second herb that is really, 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 really good is an herb called ashwagandha. And let me make sure, I might be spelling it wrong, but if you put it into the search engine, it'll kind of correct the spelling too if you're close. Ashwagandha, I think is how it's spelled. Ashwagandha. Another herb that's now really popular that you can get in many, many quality supermarkets. The ones that have, you know, that have any kind of a holistic kind of section, they'll have it. Another herb that helps with calming the system and the emotions, anxiety, worry, this kind of stress situation. Because when you're going through this, you know, when you're waking up and you're realizing what's going on, one of the things that happens, you're kind of in a little bit of a shock once you realize the stuff that, you know, is going on. So, you know, that's a system going, this is the ridiculous stuff that's been going on, and let's get you into the real. So you take that herb, helps to do that. And again, it's another adaptogen. It adapts to what your body needs. So that's another one. And I might be, you know, some of you lived in different places, and you can get herbs that do the same thing. I just mention these because they're relatively easy to get. And we want to make sure that we talk about things that's easy to get. I'm not going to talk about some of the things that you use and then you have to like really look into it and find it and you can't even pronounce the name. You don't really need to do all of that. Just simple thing. Holy basil or tulsi. You'll see it either two names. Holy basil or tulsi, they're the same thing. Ashwagandha. Great. And then I'm going to give you a third. You might not find it at a store, but if you put the name in a search, you can order it. Again, really easy to acquire and affordable. It's called gynostemma. Gynostema. Gynostemma. And I might have misspelled it. I'm not going to look it up because I know if you just put this, you'll see it. Another, it's called the herb of. It's a vine. Actually, oh my God, I've actually loved this herb so much that I started to grow it. So let me grab my little gynostemma plant because you can, and it's easy to grow. If you're into a little, you want to get a little nature in your house, you can look at the background. You see it back here. I got my little plants, and you can't see it, but I have plants right here. Now let me grab my little gynostemma plant. I just didn't even think about it. I forgot about it, and I brought it in. It's right here. I brought it in because it likes to be really wet, and I don't use the water in the faucet for my plants because it's not good for them either. It's not good for you. It's not good for them. You know, their life too. So I didn't want, and it likes sun, and I'm out here in San Diego, so I brought it in because I didn't want to have it give it too much sun if I can't give it the water. So I have it here. So it's easy for me to get. Let me just get this right behind me. It's a nice my little pretty gynostemma plant. I'll give you a little kiss. There you go. And I tend to, I just look at it every day. I just give it water. Every once in a while, a little plant, plant food, water, and that's it. Boom. I just go over, look at it every day. That's it. Give it water. This is one of the easiest plants to grow. And once it takes off, you got to watch it because this thing takes off. Okay, but it's in this pot, so I can control it. And I don't own my own home, so I didn't plant it into the ground. But into the ground, you can. But once it grows, it starts getting over. It's a vine, so it'll start growing over that, and it'll start going like this plant is very new. I've only had this thing for about a month, and I had to order because I couldn't get it around here. And it was like maybe about a month ago. It was like, I would say, we can see it, a quarter of that. And in like a month, this thing is like tripled, quadrupled in size. All right. So when this thing is really, really, like really overflowing, I'll cut and I'll dry it out in the sun for a couple of days, and then I will be using this. And so I grew it myself because this is like one of plants are my pets. So this is like my plant. It's got my energy, and I've tended it and taken care of it. So when I'm drinking it, I know exactly what I'm drinking. It's my stuff. Not in mine as in own it, because we own nothing. But I have a relationship with this plant, and so I will be consuming it, and it'll be helping me. But if you don't want to go through all of that, you can buy that online. Buy that plant online. It's very, very affordable. And I say this because a lot of people want to eat healthier, and I get the complaint all the time. It's so expensive to eat healthy. And what I say to people is, do it incrementally. Maybe you can't afford to be like, going to that expensive whole, place, which I don't recommend anybody go to anymore, because they have sold out. Find another holistic place to buy your groceries, and don't overspend at this whole place. I don't even want to name them. You know what I'm talking about. Whole paycheck, okay? Because they've just recently said they're not going to check for GMO. So they don't care whether the stuff in there is GMO or not. And that was one of the main reasons why people flocked to them. Okay, so they're completely to be avoided. Now, so food. Find out what kind of foods are best for you. So I just gave you some herbs that are really, really going to help. Find out the kind of foods that are going to be good for you. Go online. Find out what your blood type is. That's easy. Go donate some blood, and they'll tell you. You can buy a thing for $10. They'll tell you. If you've got a doctor's appointment, you're going to get blood work done, they'll tell you. If you have a doctor, you can contact them, they'll tell you. They know. Okay, do that. Okay, you got to bring something to the table. You got to know what your blood type is. It's easy to do too. You can buy a kit, you can go donate blood, and they'll tell it to you for free. Easy. Something's easy and simple to find, because then that will be an indicator of what, an idea of what is good for you. Now, I say that because a lot of people say, well, I eat healthy. Well, unless you know your blood type, you really can't know what it is that is really healthy for you, because a healthy food for you or a healthy food for me might not be a healthy food for you. Like, for example, tomatoes are not healthy for me. Tomato is a healthy food, isn't it? It is very healthy, but not for me. So you want to find out what those healthy foods are that are not for you, so that you can focus more on all the things that are good for you. Go online and go blood type diet foods, and it'll have a list of all of the things. Let's say you're blood type A. All of the things that are good for blood type A, all of the things that are not so good. And you might find on that list things to avoid, and you go, oh my God, every time I eat this thing, I get heartburn. Or you might go, I get heartburn when I have dinner. Then you look and you say, oh, well, okay. Maybe it's because I'm eating this, that. You could use it as a means of diagnosis. Because when you eat the foods that are healthy for you, oh, by the way, let me just extend one. Here's why the blood type is important to know what to eat. Because it isn't the government that decided what's good for you when it comes to your diet with their little phony food chart that's built on, whoever it is that they want to give money to. It isn't them. It's your ancestors. Your ancestors, wherever your ancestors, and let me tell you this, for most of us living here, we just arrived on the ship. We're just blowing. We've been here just a few hundred years ago. If you were one of the oldest, cultures to come here, you've been here like maybe 200, this country is 245 years old, but we started coming here before we separated from England. Let's just say 300 years. That's a drop in the bucket. That is not going to change anything concerning what your genetic situation is and what is good for you. That's just a drop in the bucket. Your ancestors were living in, say, wherever, Africa, Asia, Europe, for tens of thousands of years, and you just arrived here a couple of hundred years ago. Guess what? They decided what you eat. And so the indicator of that is the blood type. Now, there are other indicators, but the biggest one and most important one is the blood type. So if you eat according to your blood type, you are more than likely eating exactly the way you should eat and in a healthy fashion. So you can find out your blood type easily. You can go on the computer and find out what foods are best to eat for that easily. All these things don't cost anything much. They don't cost much. Let me just say that. They don't cost much at all. It costs what you're already paying. Your light bill, your Wi-Fi, your internet, whatever. Maybe you printed out a couple of cents on paper. And you can start that way. And once you take care of the temple, or at least attempt to take care of the temple, then you'll start seeing changes physically, because there is a saying in the spiritual community, and it's not just in the spirit, but it is, and it talks about, if you are accepting and aware of the different places of existence, dimensions, realities, whatever. There's a saying that goes, as above, so below. And then a lot of people stop there, but here's a complete version of that. We'll continue. As below, so above. Below meaning your physical being, above meaning your spirit. As within, so without. That's why I always say, hey, go within and change what's within. Because whatever you have within, you'll project out, including the people that you attracted to your life and the situations that come with them. Okay? So you're starting that from within part, from below, because your spirit already has got its stuff together. It's just waiting for you to connect with it, because your spirit will not violate and your spirit will not interfere with your life here physically. It will not. It will only do so in an emergency situation. And then it throws things at you to try to get you to pay attention, to try to get you to see things, to try to get you to become aware. Your spirit is always talking to you, whether you recognize what those things are or not. You're talking and you have this idea, and suddenly you look at the clock and you see double numbers, triple numbers, 333, and you just thought of an idea, and your spirit is saying, yeah. Boom, you see those synchronicities. You have this idea, you're doing this stuff, and suddenly you walk down the street and you see something about it. You turn the radio on, you hear something about it. You are walking down the street and you hear someone else talking about it. That's one of the ways the subconscious and the spirit communicates with you. It's a little different with everybody. But be aware of synchronicities, things that happen during a certain time. So when you see things like synchronous numbers, double, triple, quadruple numbers, license plates, and things like that, be aware and be mindful of where you are and what you're thinking and what you're doing. Because that could be a way of your spirit trying to Hey, yeah. Oh, hey, watch out for that. Don't do that. Oh, you got it. That's it right there. That's it right there. Blah, blah, blah. It's like you ever watch a ball game, especially if you watch a kid play. I coach my daughter in basketball and stuff like that, and I watched as a fan, and you see them playing, and you understand, and you see they can throw the ball right over there, and it'll be a perfect play. You go, you guys, look over there, look, throw it over there, do this, do that, and you're sitting there, you're going, yeah, he did it, she did it, woo! You're celebrating, or they don't do it, go. She'll be good. She'll be good. I'll just talk to her about it later on, and she'll see. She's getting better. That's my baby. That's my girl. That's my baby boy over there. That's what your spirit does to you. It's always trying to cheer you on, try to show. That's what your spirit does to you. And when the spiritual awakening that I just talked about happens, boom, your spirit is like sitting in the stands with pom-pom, but not just pom-poms. They're the fan, the coach, the orchestrator, and everything all in one. And it's all you at the same time. Okay, it's all you at the same time. So that's what happens. So the first thing you do is start eating better. If you can't do it already, do it incrementally, do it slowly, do it piece by piece. It's okay. You ain't gotta be all like, oh man, I gotta go throw out all this stuff I got here because I need to eat. No, that's the kind of stuff that makes you, that gets you in a spot where you go, this ain't working for me, because you put too much stress on it. Oh, do it slowly, and as you attempt, your spirit will open doors for it to move to the next level. You attempt some more, another set of doors open. Don't focus on any other crap that you've been programmed with. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. All of those are excuses that they program us with, because when it's something that you want, you find the time and the money and everything else to get it done. And when they want you to do something, they find the time and they tell you can get it done. And all of a sudden, you're the greatest thing since sliced bread when they want you to do something for them. That's everybody. Okay? So, the diets. Do it slowly. Do it incrementally. Start exercising. You ain't got to go to the gym and start doing 2 hours a day. Wake up in the morning, do a stretch. Do a little yoga. Go out for a walk. And then just start all that slowly. All of these things, connect with nature. Go out for a walk. Take your shoes off. Go into and even in the city, go into the city. Take your shoes off. If you don't want to do that, it's too much for you, go to a tree and put your hand on it. You don't have to be, people don't have to know what you're doing. You don't have to broadcast this. Go to a tree and with your thought connect to that tree, ground in, because trees are very amazing. Trees, they're finding out so much more now about trees than they ever knew before. A tree will pull bad energy off of you because that energy is good for them and return positive energy to you. You're feeling just off. Go to a tree, especially if you're in a city. Any of the citrus trees in the city are good, because trees out in the woods, they might not like people. Yeah, that's new information, by the way. But the ones that are used to people, they're in cities, go to a tree, put your hand on it. Sit there for 10, 15 minutes. You don't have to be there forever. Sometimes 5 minutes. And suddenly you just, with your intention, you have an exchange with that tree and boom. Because like I said, these plants are here before us. They evolved with us. They know us. Suddenly, you're feeling better. No drugs. No going to the psychologist and them feeding you poison. None of that. Go out into nature. In nature, you know why a lot of us feel good in nature is because they have these negative ions. Negative ions, because if you have too many positive ions, it creates an imbalance. Stress creates positive ions. Everyday life, the stuff we're surrounded with, the energies of the people. You go out into nature, balances out, brings those negative ions. Boom! Suddenly, you are now brought back into balance. Hi, Micah. Yeah, when it's something you want, you find the time and money, don't you? Thank you for joining us, Micah. Oh, Micah says, I'm going to read it out. Even I know you guys can read. I'm going to read it out because this is so cool. She's writing this. I have experienced trees pulling off poor energy many times. I first noticed it last year. I was stressed and let the weight go to the trees and the energy was transmuted. Absolutely. So trees are the lungs of this planet. Without them, we can't survive. They give us the air we need. So I thank the trees because they're actually doing something that we can see and prove, not something somewhere, Lord knows if it even exists. The trees exist, I can touch them, and they're doing stuff to allow me to live and survive in this environment and do what it is that I'm doing. And it does that for all of us, right? All of us. So do that. Hey, that costs nothing. Most of us can just walk outside of our houses and contact a tree. Another thing, costs nothing. So beneficial. They say, it's saying the best things in life are free. It's kind of not, it's kind of like, people are not saying that, but it is true. It is true. Okay? The best things in life are free, and they're trying to put a cost on even the free things in life. So you can do this. Go out into nature. There's another thing that's going to enhance and create space for your consciousness. Okay? And don't let those things get in the way, because as soon as you have this awakening that I'm talking about, you'll start noticing things too. I want to talk about both sides of the coin, so that it's people that didn't come in, you haven't heard from a long time, suddenly they'll start popping in. Situations start coming. And all of a sudden, everything to distract you away from what it is that you are discovering will arrive and show up at your doorstep. And you must be aware of those distractions so that you do one of those things. And if it becomes intensified, there are things you can do. There are things you can do. And I have myself available as a resource for anybody that's waking up and things are happening and it's getting crazy, because that can happen too, because the more powerful you are, the bigger the opposition to you waking up to things, because you're a threat. And you don't have to tell anybody you're waking up. Suddenly it comes, because we're on an energetic grid as human beings. And when you start waking up, your energetic light starts showing. And suddenly, we need to tap down that light going on over there, because we need to recycle them and have them come back here and do this whole mess all over again. We don't want them to be free and wake up from this situation. Okay? Good movie to watch? The Matrix. If you watch that movie a long time, if you watch it again. And it might become even more. The more I watch The Matrix, the more I see things in there that I didn't notice the first time I watched it. Fantastic movie. A lot of the stuff is given to you in Hollywood. They have to tell you the truth. Nothing can be done here without it being revealed to you. Without it being revealed to you. And all kinds of movies. And I might even start, I might create a movie list. Because that's kind of like the best way to kind of understand a lot of the things that we have going on here. There's a movie for just about everything that's going on here. So even though you have to watch with movies because of the programming and all this kind of stuff, if you're aware of that kind of stuff, you can avoid it. But then if you watch movies anyway, you'll see these movies, and they'll give you truth because they have to. Otherwise, whatever it is they do, not allowed. So we're talking about food. I gave you a couple of herbs that are really beneficial. Nature, grounding into the plant. Take your shoes off. Even if you have a child or somebody like that, and they're just off, hey, they come up, hold their hands, take them to a tree, take them their shoes off, and don't even tell them. Just watch and see how they change. Go to the beach if you have the opportunity to do that. I want you to tell me. I want someone to report, not report, but tell me a little survey with if you're near a beach, I want you to tell me if you can ever find a moping child on the beach. Tell me there's a child there moping and with their hands folded and mad and crying and carrying on with a temper tantrum on the beach. I've never seen a 2-year-old do a temper tantrum on the beach. Maybe you have, but I haven't. Every time I go to the beach and there are kids there, they're running, they're laughing, they're jumping, they're screaming, they're enjoying the water. Nobody's telling them anything. They're not TV commercials promoting the beach or anything. When they're watching their cartoons and they're advertising, nobody's advertising how great the beach is for the kids. Why the beach? So that's a big indicator of what nature does. And now that I'm talking about the beach, if you have a chance to go to the beach, go. You know why? Contact all the different elements all at once. Water, air, land, and sun, all at one place. And if you think about it, you'll contact ether too. It's all there. That's why a lot of people gravitate to the beach. They might not know the details as to why, but they feel good when they're there, and they feel good when they leave. That's another thing. Water. Not feeling good? Go take a shower. And with your intent, have the water wash all this stuff away. You can do that in your house. You can't go out, you're feeling bad, it's 10 o'clock, it's winter time. Man, I can't go out there. Go take a shower. Take a bath. Take a bath. Take some Epsom salts. Throw it in there. Baking soda. Stressed out? Baking soda. Throw it in there. Lay and soak there for a while. Watch and see how you feel when you get out. Okay, so these are simple things that I'm recommending. And if anybody has any more recommendations, I know I'm here talking, but you know, this is a co-creative effort. We're all free to share, discuss everything here in this community. Thank you all so much. And thank you, Micah, B-Ball. And hopefully, like I said, I'll be doing more, doing more of these and sharing as much as I can. Thank you guys so much, and until the next time. Oh, yes, the beach. Great place for space and healing. Water is wonderful. Absolutely. All right, you guys, have a great rest of the day. And until next time, stay awake, become awake, and start freeing yourself from all the stuff you got going on around here. Okay? See you guys later.